You have a 20-year-old in AAA who's been pretty good to start the season. Roman Anthony is off to kind of it's an almost comical start. I know that you guys care a lot more about things like expected numbers in the minor leagues than you do about actual performance. His actual performance has been good. His expected numbers have been great as of this conversation. He wasn't just leading AAA in terms of xWOBA. He was like lapping the field, right? Like running something like a 500 xWOBA, where a 350 would be good and a 400 would be great. What are you seeing from Roman Anthony in the early stages of 2025, both in terms of how he's maybe taken steps forward, if you can make a judgment like that this early, and how close he is to being ready to compete at the big league level?
Yeah, speaking with him and then hearing some of the things that he said after spring training, I thought were really
notably on 310 to left.
Yeah, yes, on 310 to left. Talking about his experience in Major League camp. We've talked about Marcelo, Christian, and Roman, and this was their first Major League camp, despite the fact that they have been really successful over the past couple of years. So being and not being guys that are just kind of coming over and playing extra. They are in Major League camp. They are part of the everyday rotation of playing time. They're spending time with AC, spending time with the coaching staff, and really getting a feel for the speed of the game, what is expected out of a young major leaguer, and how to come in, do your work consistently, whether that be in the weight room, whether that be on the backfields, or whether that be in the cage, and be able to do that at a rate that allows you to do it over 162 plus, whether you are 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts or 4 for 4 with 3 hard hit balls over 100 miles per hour. So I think learning that, listening to him speak about that, was incredibly valuable for him as a young player, very, very young player, but incredibly mature for his age. I think even someone who we feel like is mature for his age has a lot to learn through guys like, the Bregmans of the world, the Stories of the world, even, Jarren Duran, who is younger, but has been in the big leagues for a few times and has certainly dealt with his ups and downs as well, and is a leader in our clubhouse currently. So just being with Worcester this past week, I think one of the things I really appreciate about all those guys, and Roman in particular, is he's never satisfied with where he is. There's always a willingness to improve, always a willingness to get better. He has a good game, and maybe there was one at bat where he felt like his swing selection or pitch selection wasn't ideal. So he's going back and trying to make sure that is better for his next opportunity. But I think, he is really focusing on consistency, hitting the ball hard, which he has done, driving the ball pull side in the air, which is really important to him, but also driving the ball all over the place because he's going to be pitched to differently as pitchers get to know who he is and what he can do at the plate. And then I would say more time in left field. We've put a focus on that, getting experience, reading balls off the bat, balls come off at a different angle from there, and being able to do that, as well as center and right as well. But I think just he has not played as much left. So experiencing that in AAA has been important for him. But, you mentioned the expected numbers. Hitting the ball hard, giving him the opportunity for impact at the plate is really important to us. Obviously, there is a point, and that is in the big leagues, when those hard hit balls, we much prefer they be hits, much prefer that they be base hits and driving in runs and scoring runs, which is the name of the game. But again, when we talk about sustained success, when we talk about skills that are scalable, hitting the ball hard is one that leads to that at the big league level. And that consistency day in and day out, that work day in and day out, whether, again, he's 0 for 4 or 4 for 4, has been really fun to see. And, we've already moved Roman once when his surface level numbers weren't perfect, when they did not seem on the outset that he was having a solid year, but everything else, whether that be his bat to ball, or again, his swing decisions, or the way he was impacting the ball, were really strong. And, I think when the time is right, when it's best for Roman, and we feel like he can make the most impact in this organization and help the major league team. And again, for his development path, that will be when his time is right. Again, I certainly am not going to be putting timetables on any of our players. And I think for us on the minor league side, the development side, it's just preparing these guys every day for when that opportunity is called, that they are ready to go up and help AC and help that major league team compete for a playoff spot.
So I always think it's interesting when we're looking at these big name prospects who have these incredible tools, who've never really failed in their lives ever because they've always been the best. And I always watch these guys through the minor leagues, and I almost want there to be a blip where they struggle. And I know you guys feel the same way because you can find out a lot about a player when they struggle for that first time, when they struggle for that second time, how they bounce back. Is there an adjustment period? And I know as much as everything is measured, and we're in this new age of baseball where you have numbers for everything. How much is that old school that's still kind of blended in? Just because that experience is there where you've seen so many players kind of deal with failure and then kind of see how they bounce back from that.
Yeah, you really want players to deal with adversity, and that comes in a bunch of different ways at the minor league level. You don't necessarily want guys to fail because you want guys to have success. But like you said, Will, if there's a little bit of a blip on the radar or maybe a stretch where a guy is struggling a little bit, allowing that player to trust the process, trust the training, trust the work they're putting in to get out of it is really important because it's going to happen in the major leagues. I don't think there is a major league player, Hall of Famer or not, that has not struggled at some point during their career, and then they've been able to bounce back out of that. Sometimes probably shorter than others, but there are also really good players that struggle for a long time, and they have to make adjustments and changes, or quite frankly, stay the course and trust that the work that they're putting in is going to allow them to get to the success that they want. I think on our side within PD, what we really, really try to do is challenge these players within the training, whether that be on the defensive side, the base running side, or the offensive side, so the game is a little bit easier. I'm not saying that they're not going to fail. I'm not saying that it's not important that they fail at some point within the games, but if they struggle within their training environments, if they fail within their training environments, they're going to find ways, find solutions to ultimately get better and improve at their particular craft, whatever that may be. Again, whether it be swing decisions, whether that be hitting the ball a certain way for ball flight, whether that be hitting the ball harder. We want really good problem solvers. I think that is really, really important. And we talk to our players about that. Every pitch is different. Every swing is different. So give yourself the ability to solve problems at the plate and in the field, so that when there is something that is adverse, when there is something that is a little bit different or challenging, you're prepared to solve that problem. And I think our coaches and our staff and our training environments provide a good opportunity for our players to do that. And again, it's certainly not perfect, certainly not always going to be 100% correct or accurate, but giving them the opportunity to fail and get out of that in the training and the preparation is a big piece of having these guys have success once they reach the upper levels in the big leagues.